Hey travelers, welcome to Trip with Mari. If you're new to my channel, I revisit some of my fun and exciting times during my travel while I help you out on yours. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Costa Rica and my 12-day excursion. So, Costa Rica has always been a dream of mine to go, and I went with two other friends. The first day my friend and I were waiting for our last friend to come in from DC, so we got there kind of in the evening, early evening, late afternoon. So we cleaned up, explored our Airbnb, and our Airbnb was actually a hotel, and it was honestly my favorite one out of all the places that we stayed in terms of space and cleanliness and amenities, because they offered free breakfast each morning, so that was really cool. And then we ended up seeing a little bit of the nightlife in San Jose, Costa Rica that night. The next day, while we were still waiting on our friend, we were able to get free breakfast, and then we did a walking tour of San Jose. So these are the videos that you're going to be looking at. This particularly right here, when you see this globe is, or this metal dome was supposed to bring people good luck because of where this orb and this rock was. They had no idea where it came from or who made it, so they believed if you touched it, you would get essentially magical powers and you would have good luck. So we finally got on the road to Puerto Viejo. It was very long, so just a FYI, if you are going to Costa Rica and you plan to move around the actual country, you definitely need a car. We were not able to find a car at a decent price, so we ended up getting shuttles, and honestly it cost $900 and some change for the shuttle, but that ended up being cheaper than buying a car because they were asking for like $1,200, and because it was around Christmas time, everything was booked up. The taxes for the cars were insane, and on top of that, I was talking to somebody on Facebook, so it was just like one was Facebook and one was WhatsApp. So honestly, I didn't feel comfortable exchanging this amount of money with this person before even meeting them. So I was just like, let's just do a shuttle that has reviews to get us to point A to point B of the 3 places that we will be going on this trip. So when we got our stuff together, the next day we actually got to experience Puerto Viejo, and honestly it was my favorite place out of all the places. I love a beach, I love a Caribbean vibe. We specifically went to Puerto Viejo because I was part of the first wave of planning about which specific places that I wanted to go to. So I definitely picked Puerto Viejo because it was on the Caribbean side of the island, so that's where the black people stay, y'all, and it had more of Caribbean Jamaican vibe. And if you guys have seen any of my other videos, I am half Jamaican, so that really interested me to go to the places where there were more Jamaican immigrants and more of a Jamaican vibe there.
Okay.
Down.
Right.
Cheers!
And we really had a great time. I was in love with Playa Negra. I'd never been to a black sand beach before, and literally it wasn't just me, but the sand was like iridescent. The sand sparkled, and I was in love. Just thinking about that sand, I was in love, and now I'm obsessed with black sand beaches, and I want to find other like different color sand beaches. I want to go to a white sand beach, and I want to go to a pink sand beach. I feel like I've been to a white sand beach before, but I want to find another one, and I want to go to a pink sand beach so I can finish the trifecta.
Uno, dos, tres. Salud, amor, dinero.
And we ended our night at Johnny's. The next day we did a coffee and chocolate tour. Once again, Puerto Viejo was my favorite place to go. So CARIBEANS was initially a coffee shop, but then they added artisan chocolates. So the tour was showing us how chocolate is made, literally from the flour, not even the cocoa beans, from the flour to then the cocoa bean to then the white casing. And it's actually good for you if you just eat it like that. It has really good antioxidants, and it's like sweet and sour, and it's really cool. But then you take that off, and then you have the actual bean, and then you dry that out. Take the cocoa nibs that are, take the cocoa nibs, and then like they put it in this like little machine to create cocoa butter. So that's, you know, to keep your skin nice and smooth and soft. That's how you make cocoa butter, and then they take the chocolate from that. So initially, like a warm chocolate, what we think of as hot chocolate, used to be the drinks of the gods, like the Aztec gods. I think it's Aztecs, yeah. So the drinks of the gods, and it wasn't actually sweet. So the Europeans came in and put it with the sugar, put it with the milk. The ancient people, before Costa Rica was ever named Costa Rica, they would put spice in it, and they would use it for rituals. So they would actually add a dab blood. Kind of weird. I don't necessarily want blood in my stuff, but that's what they would do. And then we hit up the Jaguar Center. So the Jaguar Center, fun fact, has no jaguars. I actually got a little bit sad because I thought there were jaguars that were going to be placed there. It's not. But the Jaguar Center is a rescue center for animals that volunteers find or people rescue and send them to the center. But there is a lot of sloths going on there. There's a lot of howler monkeys. There's a lot of spider monkeys. I learned a little things about the spider monkeys and how women rule that area, the female of spider monkey. Really interesting information.
Happy Christmas Eve, everyone! Alright, you can't do this. Wow! I swear there were fireworks just
There's a monkey. We're gonna look at the monkey. So we actually spent Christmas ziplining. It was an interesting time ziplining. So the next stop was La Fortuna on Christmas Day, and it was so funny because we didn't even realize that it was Christmas, but it totally was Christmas.
Did I break? No. Oh my god!
And like I said, it was raining when we were ziplining, and once the guy gave us the instructions in terms of what to do, we had like this breaker. It was leather, and what you had to do, you had to pull on the line to break. And I thought I was doing it, and I thought I was doing it well, but every single time he was like, nope, you didn't do it right. So that's why I was like, what? I thought I was doing it right. So it was difficult. Coming in after every zip line was hard, and one of my friends, she was supposed to do it, but she got nervous and she ended up not even doing it, which was fine, fair. I got like mud in my face from like the bottom of my shoe coming in there. It was a lot going on. And this was actually my least favorite like leg of the trip because I ended up getting sick. So I literally was like in fevers, but I have bad sinus infections, so like I had dairy pasta the night or 2 nights before that, so like my body was trying to like expel what was happening, and it wasn't great that I was like ziplining in the rain while I wasn't feeling well, so it kind of like exacerbated that and felt worse. So this was Paradise Springs, hot springs. It was really cool. It was probably like 3 hot springs. It wasn't really that big. Hot springs are made by volcanic activity underneath the bedrocks of the soil. So it literally makes the soil hot. So putting water on top of it creates a hot spring. So there were a lot of hot springs in La Fortuna because La Fortuna is where the Arnold volcano is located. So there's a lot of volcanic activity. So there's a lot of hot springs. And that particular one was a hotel as well as a hot spring, and they provided food. And out of the 2 hot springs that we did go to, they had the best food. We did a hiking tour on the base of Arnold volcano, which was really cool. We got to see a lot of nature. I learned that a pineapple is not a fruit, it's a blossom. Fun fact. I got to see ants at work, and I also got to get some good pics of Lake Arnold. That night we went to BALDI hot springs. So this is literally hot springs on overload. So we went the day before and it was like maybe 4 hot springs like connected to each other. This was 23 hot springs. Each hot springs, like the further you get away from, I guess, the entrance, the hotter the hot springs was. It definitely was a vibe. There was a sauna, there was places to get drinks. I mean, both places you were able to get drinks, but this one was definitely a nice vibe. Granted, there were kids in there, but also there were people who were on there grown and sexy as well. So it was a really great experience. And honestly, like I said, I wasn't feeling that well. So going to 2 hot springs back to back, I think actually made me feel a little bit better as well. We went to Don Juan and we learned about how coffee is made, and it was really interesting because we learned how chocolate was made in Puerto Viejo. So learning how coffee was made was kind of similar in terms of like drying it out and separating the shells from the actual like seed of things, and just understanding the pairing of coffee and chocolate. Like, y'all, I am not, because I can't really eat chocolate because of a lot of things are like milk chocolate. But I was taught, I learned about the combo of coffee and chocolate during this trip, and appreciating dark chocolate. Like now I love dark chocolate. Just give me some dark chocolate with some sea salt. Love it. But I didn't know. I was a child before I left, and now I do. We also were able to do the Sky Forest, and the Sky Forest was really cool. I think like the main thing out of this whole trip was nature. We experienced nature in every step of the way, and it was really cool to connect with nature and to understand nature at a different level. It was really funny because remember that friend that I said was not going ziplining because she was afraid? She actually came on the tram with us. Look at her go. She came on the tram with us and still scared. It was so funny because she was like coaching the lady who was like letting go and like having her do her test run. Because all it was like a test run zip line. She was like, the lady was about to let her go. She's like, listen lady, I'm scared. So you better come with me nicely and come with me correct, because I'm not really used to doing this. So it was funny getting her on video because she was like really terrified, but I was really proud of her that she did it. She was able to do it, and she had a good time too.
Hold the table, please. Thank you. What's your name?
Amari.
Mari.
Yeah. Oh God.
Come a little closer.
What are you supposed to?
Both hands here, darling.
Both hands?
Sit down.
Like this? No.
Thanks.
And to end off our trip, we went to the butterfly forest. So what was really cool is, if you see that lady, she is the chrysalis. So this is what the cocoons that the caterpillars spin for themselves to become butterflies. So they're called chrysalis. They had like lines and lines and lines of chrysalis being ready to be hatched. So the butterfly that just hatched, I kept in a little container to open in a particular forest room. So when I had the butterfly on my actual finger, they didn't want to let me go, and I thought it was so cute. So it's essentially my little baby butterfly. They didn't want to let me go, so I was just like keeping my finger like this, trying to like release them, like go ahead child, go ahead child. But it took them a minute to get warmed up and to leave me. But hopefully you guys like this video. If you are interested in any more vlogs, make sure you click this video right here. If you're interested in any fun facts, how-tos, top 5, or anything informative about travel, make sure you click this video right here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because it helps me build my channel and know what you guys are interested in. Make sure you have a great day. Bye, y'all.